This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Next up, it's a triple threat for the WWE title. I should remind everybody at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena to win the world title, or the WWE title rather. I guess they're unified here. And this is after, you may remember, Suplex City, just a ton of consecutive suplexes. Cena gets his rematch the following month at Night of the Champions in Nashville. He gets a win there by DQ after Seth Rollins interferes and attempts to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. At the next event, Hell in a Cell, Cena would defeat Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell in a future shot against Lesnar. And then the Authority was removed from Power after losing a 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Cena is the only person who can bring them back. At TLC, Cena would face Rollins in a tables match, where he would win and retain his number one contender status. And later in the event, it was announced that Cena would face Brock Lesnar for the world title at Royal Rumble. On the final episode of Raw in 2014, Rollins would attack Edge, which we've talked about. And of course, he acquiesces. So the Authority is back. And on January 5th, Rollins gets added to this triple threat match as a reward from Triple H for helping bring the Authority back. Let's fast forward here. It's a 3-way dance. It's 22 minutes. It's 42 seconds. It's a really good match, as good as a 3-way I think you'll see. I think this is a match that probably flies under the radar. If there's one match on this card that I'm going to recommend you go see, it's this one. Meltzer would agree. He gives it 4 3/4 stars. Brock Lesnar retains. Quite the performance. Lesnar here, Meltzer would remark, is enormous. And he says the crowd was totally into Lesnar. He came out German suplexing. He did 2 German suplexes on Cena, and he did a double back suplex on Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. There's lots of creative action here. They're even going to get to the outside, Spanish announce tables, monitors. They're pulling out all the stops. What'd you think of this one? You watched it this week, for the first time on TV, probably ever. What'd you think?
What an effort. What a collaboration. Let me just say that I'm not a big fan, and people that know me know this. I'm not a big fan of prostituting your finish, because throughout history, what made this business make sense and what made it relative, I wouldn't say easy, but more manageable. When you're trying to tell a story of a match, it's real simple. This is my finish. I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to get my finish on you, because when I do, match is over. And my opponent is going to do the exact same thing. And if they hit me with their finish, match is over. So I've never been a big fan of prostituting your finish just for a hot shot deal. But if it ever fit in a match, this would be the one that it made some sense, because number one, Lesnar is a monster, not was, not could be in the future. He is a monster, and everyone understands that. And the way they structure this match, those guys, I would have hated to have woke up in any of their bodies, probably including Lesnar's, because the aggression, the violence, the high spots with Seth coming off the top and putting Brock through that table. I mean, everything was just at a heightened level. And the audience being in Philly, which is a rough blue-collar town, they love violence, and they love it in large quantities. And boy, did they get it. Boy, did they get it, that particular night. So if you're waiting on something negative to come out of my mouth, it's not going to happen. Those guys put on I don't know how many stars, whatever the maximum would be, but add another couple, and that's what they had that particular night.
Go out of your way to watch it. It is a below the radar 3-way, because it's in the more modern era. I don't think it gets maybe the credit it deserves. 20 years from now, people will be talking about this like a barn burner. Be ahead of the curve. Go check it out. I think you'll be glad you did. We should mention Rollins is going for the curb stomp. Lesnar gets up, ducks, catches him with the F5, And Meltzer would describe it in 3 words: absolutely fantastic match. When it came time for the readers of the Wrestling Observer to vote in the poll, it was unanimous. 100% of the votes for the best match poll was this. So this is something you don't want to miss, especially if you haven't seen it before. Go out of your way to check it out.
Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future clips that we upload. We hope we made you laugh, and we hope we can save you some money right now at SaveWithConrad.com.